Hey, how y'all doing? This is Rick Sincere with MTMV Sports. Happy, elated, overjoyed. I can't even say enough about the excitement that I feel right now. I'm sitting here with the female Barry Sanders herself, Miss Santia Deck. If you don't know her, my God, after this, I pray you go and get to know her. She is about to take the entire world by storm. Miss Deck, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, just a little tired, but I'm good.
Awesome, awesome. All right, look, so I want to know, we're going to talk about your deal, right? You just signed a phenomenal deal, right, with the Women's Football League Association, right? So I can't wait to hop into that. But at first, before we get into all that, right, I want my listeners to understand your football story. So talk to us about your football story. What was your journey in football? How'd you get started?
Okay, so football was not something that I thought I would ever be doing professionally. First of all, because it just hasn't been done yet. Of course, we have these other leagues, but not to where some, women are actually getting paid enough to let it, be full time. So I started off with track and field, and that's was my life from 7 years old to about 23. And I tried to go to the Olympics with track and field, and I ended up getting injured, and I just kind of called it quits because I was injured every single year in college. And then I got into flag football after that because I was trying to find something to replace that, that emptiness of not having a sport. And I did really, really well, broke some records, did some things that I made the USA team for flag football as well. And then I played a little bit in the LFL, very, very short stint, nothing really to talk about, but I got a little bit of experience. And then I started playing rugby. And rugby has been my baby, for, I guess, a little over a year now. Unfortunately, I was also trying to make it to the Olympics. Ended up working my body so much and so hard that I burnt myself out. So when it was time to get in front of the USA coach, I didn't really have anything left, and I just kind of fell on my face in front of the coach, and I didn't make it. And so I was very confused as far as like what God had planned for me. And then I get the call about, the WFLA, and here we are.
So to say we're here in your journey, right, is incredible based on how you started.
Yes.
At some point in your childhood, you found out about scoliosis, and that impacted your journey overall. How did that play a role in your journey? How did that impact where you are now?
So with scoliosis, it was unfortunate that, my mom found out before they could actually correct it without surgery. And so she kind of had the decision to either allow me to continue running track and doing what I was doing at the time, or to allow me to go, get into surgery. But I would have probably first of all, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. And the doctor was saying that he didn't even want me to play any sports because if I got hit the wrong way, if I fell the wrong way, I could have ended up, paralyzed. And so my mom had to go and, pray about it. And, she just decided to let me continue my journey because at that point I was already running track. My body, I guess at that point, had kind of adjusted to it, me having scoliosis. And so as far as like how it impacted me as an athlete, I feel like I had to definitely work harder. There's certain exercises that I might have to, I guess, change a little bit so that I could, I guess, benefit from different exercises. One side of my body is a little higher than the other one. So just learning how to properly just adjust to just having that difference in my body. And having, muscle spasms, back spasms, not really knowing if it's going to get worse. And luckily, through exercise and I guess God, like, it really hasn't gotten any worse. But I can tell that if I didn't have this disability, I would probably be a little bit more balanced as an athlete, which would probably make me an even more dangerous athlete. But, we're working on some things with that. So, we'll see what happens.
So just for a second, you talked to me about the disappointment of not making it on to the Olympics, right? And that being somewhat of a disappointment for you.
Yeah.
I know there was a low period there, right? In that low period, what got you back up to keep training, to keep moving, and knowing that something bigger and better was possibly coming?
So, just being completely transparent, it took me a very, very long time to kind of get to a point where I was just able to function mentally, without, I guess knowing that I wasn't really training for anything. And for me, because I was training literally so hard, I was traveling the world, going to different places in New Zealand, and I was training in the UK, and I was doing all these things just to prepare. And so when I just got that phone call that, we feel like, you need to be developed more, we're going to pass on this opportunity. And it was a lot of other things that I'm not going to speak about that played a role in that. But anyways, and it was tough. I went through a depression. I went through a very serious depression. I didn't really know how I was going to come out of it, and I didn't know what my next steps were, because when you're an athlete and then they tell you, yeah, hey, this journey's over, really abruptly, it's kind of like, oh, whoa, like, what am I supposed to do now? And so I was going through that phase, and I was crying every night, every day to my mom. It was a very, very low point. I didn't really, of course, post about it on social media. I tried to just keep going through the motions or whatever, but I was really hurting up until maybe a month ago. So, like, getting the call and everything, and even now, sometimes I'm still like, dang, like, wow, I didn't make it, But this definitely has been more than a surprise. I was not expecting this, and the fact that I'm gonna make an even bigger impact on women and little girls' lives definitely helps heal that pain. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Like, when you're going, and then your dreams just literally shatter before your eyes, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, because as an athlete, that's like, it's trauma. So, I got through it through God. That's the only way that I was able to get through it, was praying every night, literally giving everything to Him, and not just saying, God, I give it to you, but then I'm still worrying over here. Like, I really had to just, like, get on my knees and cry my soul out and say, God, I don't know what's next. I don't know who I am at this point. I don't know what to do. I don't know what you got next for me. But whatever it is, all I can do is let it go, because I'm at the bottom. I can't get any lower. I can only go up. So whatever you got for me, that's all I can do is accept that and move on. And that's what I did.
Talk about the role that your relationship with God plays in your overall journey.
Man, God is my best friend. He's been my best friend since I was a child. I knew God very, very, very early. Like, I was praying to God when I was like 4 and 5 years old. Not even people not really knowing that I knew who He was at that time. Me and my twin brother had this eerie relationship at a very young age with God. Like, we would be like at school talking to kids about God, and we like in elementary school, we like in pre-K and stuff, and they're just like, what the hell, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But we had that strangely close relationship with Him at a very young age, and I feel like that's why we've been able to stay out of trouble, do things that probably most people at that age weren't able to do, and see things, and just how we are just connected to people in general. I feel like it's because we had that relationship very early. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that I wouldn't be, first of all, living right now without Him. Secondly, doing all the things that I'm doing right now. And as a woman in this world, like, if you don't have that foundation, it's so easy to go in a whole different direction, especially on social media. I could have twerking and popping and locking and dropping it all on social media if I didn't have that spiritual foundation, because people come at you every day. Oh, can we do a photo shoot for about $5,000? All you gotta do is just show a little, it's so easy for women to get manipulated, and definitely if you don't have no grounding. So me having that has kept me my head on a, I just messed up that whole word.
Keep your head on straight.
Yes, there we go. I can't even speak right now. So yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm always in awe of God and what He does for me, and that's who I am.
I saw you on social media. You was telling your fans, hey, look, I'm not gonna give y'all no twerking, but I'm gonna you got a shoulder right here. So
Yeah, that's my dance. That's my
right?
little. That's my signature now. So that's all I'm giving people. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all.
Awesome. Talk to me about the breakthrough, because the breakthrough did come, right? And it was amazing. So talk to me about the breakthrough. How did this opportunity with the Women's Football League Association come about for you?
Man, so I'm still honestly in shock. I'm still trying to take it all in. It's only been I guess a few days since I really announced what has happened. But the owner, Lupe Rose, which I owe her everything, I appreciate her so much. She actually scouted me pretty early. She scouted me when I was playing rugby. But she heard about me. She saw my film. Social media plays a big role in even me playing any sport, to be honest. But she saw me on social media. She saw that I could tackle, because people be like, well, how you gonna play football? I said, look, I play without pads. So if I can play without pads, I think I can play football. And plus I play LFL too a little bit. Anyways, but so she scouted me. At that time I was actually playing rugby. I was training for the Olympics. So of course I couldn't really respond to that offer, like just to even hear about it at that time. But once everything kind of fell apart with the Olympics, she eventually kind of came back and said, "Hey, I'm still here. What's going on?" And so we finally talked to her, and it happened. That's all I can really say. And later on she ended up offering me what she offered me, and I was not expecting that, to say the least. But I still don't know how to put it in words. Like, just to know that I have opened up a whole different world for women in this sport is just still very, very humbling. And knowing that, my daughters, if they ever want to play, whenever I have kids, if she want to play football, she can actually, train for something that she knows she's going to actually get paid for and be able to feed her family and do what she want to do. Because it's actually really sad when I think about it. Like, when we're little as women, like little girls, like we want to be these soccer players, these track runners, these basketball players, whatever else, we want to do. But what are we really training for? Because when we get to that level, we don't get paid nothing. We can't even support ourselves. But when little boys, y'all know that y'all can make millions and millions from the time y'all start training. And it's like, I want that. We don't get paid enough as women athletes. And it's like, why do we even have this dream? So the fact that I can now, help these kids fulfill something and actually chase something and actually have something to show for it at the end when you at, 18, 19, 20, when you going through college, and then, after college, it's amazing. So, I'm just excited to see, what's going to happen with this whole thing, how it's going to change the whole structure of, women's sports, period. And, just being a pioneer for this is I'm just humbled. That's all I can really say.
When she talked to you about her vision for the league, because I know at some point she had to tell you.
Of course.
What about her pitch made you say, I'm down with it, I believe in it, and I can't wait to join?
When she said her story instead of his story,
right,
I was like, oh yeah,
okay,
we're speaking the same language. Okay. So I like that, because she said that a lot when she was talking to me. And I was like, what does that mean? Then I was like, oh, wait, instead of his story, her story. I was like, okay, women empowerment. And I'm all about women empowerment. I'm not a feminist, but I do believe in the empowerment of women, and that we are capable of doing more than what people give us credit for, on the field and off the field. And so, just her passion. If you know Lupe, she's very passionate about, this league. She's put everything into it. She wants to see it win. She's got the right people around, helping, and people that you guys don't even know about yet are that you will be surprised who's actually a part of this thing. It's going to blow everybody's mind, because it's never been done. She's a genius. And I've been waiting for the day that something like this happened, and to be the one that get to kind of pioneer it is dope. It's cool.
That's dope. So I know a lot of people want to know, right? When does the season start? Like, when does it start? When can people start, like, watching games and seeing you do your thing on the field?
So the exhibition season starts 2020 in May. So our first game is actually going to be in Vegas. And the official season doesn't start till 2021. So we've got a whole, process to go through before we get to the actual official season. But yeah, we're going to have the exhibition season next year. And y'all come through.
What's got you most excited about this season?
First of all, just playing. I'm excited to play in LA, to be in LA. Who doesn't want to be in LA? The girls that I'm going to be, surrounded by. One girl in particular that I'm interested in, definitely being teammates with is Jim Brown's daughter. So her name is Kimberly. So I'm excited to see her do her thing on the field, and just all the amazing athletes that y'all don't really get to see because we don't have that exposure. So all these other running backs that are also, I'm not the only dope running back. All these quarterbacks, all these kickers, all these DBs. It's amazing women out here that have all this talent that unfortunately has not been seen. So the fact that we now have that exposure, I mean, that's all I care about.
Okay, all right. So I need to know overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does this journey mean to you?
It means a lot to me. It means the world to me because I've always wanted to leave my mark on this world. That's something that I talked about all the time. And I feel like this is definitely it. Being able to open up this world now for women and for these little girls, and now all these little girls in my DMs that were like, oh, I want to play football. Now they have a place. It's not like, oh yeah, just go play flag football and that's it. Go play recreational, go play powder puff. Now they actually have another league, a real league that they can actually go and get paid for, and it's something to strive for because it's cool. Like powder puff is cool, flag football is cool, but where does that lead? So it's like now that we have something that we can kind of do the same thing that the men are doing, get the same type of benefits, get the same type of money. That's all that I think every female football player ever wanted. So yeah, it means everything.
Now, if people watch you and they followed you, then they've seen the videos, right?
Yeah.
They've seen you juking people out of their socks, people falling on the floor, right? They've seen like guys too, right? Like trying to catch you around the corner, being unsuccessful on several different occasions. Everybody's seen all the footage, right?
Yeah.
They've seen you train like an absolute monster, right? Like your training regimen is insane, right?
Mm.
So the question is, are there a lot more like of women out there just like you? Like, what's the level of competition gonna be like? Or is this just like a you dominant situation?
I mean, of course, it's a lot of talented women. It's a lot of women that train, hard as well. That have the same type of coaching that I'm sure I have. I like to say that I do probably have the two best coaches in the world. That's just my opinion. But there's a lot of motivated women that play this sport, and you guys will get to see that. So all I can say is y'all be the judge of that. When the season come around, y'all be the judge of that.
Talk to me, bet. Okay. So I know you're a public speaker,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I've seen you public speaking several different occasions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And talking and kind of telling your story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that you talked to me about the girls that are in your DMs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Asking you questions about, how can they, I guess, I'm sure they want to be like you. I'm sure you're a role model to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are speaking to those little girls, or you're talking to them kind of privately, and somebody just asks you, how would they want to be like you? When they grow up, they want to be just like you. How would you tell them to train their minds? How would you tell them to go ahead and train their body?
If I was talking to a little girl that said she wanted to be like me, mentally I would tell her to never give up. That it's going to be many, many obstacles. It's going to be people trying to sway you left and right, take you off your course, tell you who you're supposed to be. And, people are going to try to change your story and, your mental state and everything like that. And everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to be okay with what you're doing. But as long as you want it, go get it. Simple as that. If you want it, you got to do whatever it takes. However many times you got to fall, however many times you got to break sometimes. You got to put them pieces back together and just keep going, because that's the only way you will ever be successful in this life, period. Whether it's football, whether it's trying to be a doctor or trying to be a lawyer, it's a process. And I think sometimes we forget as humans that you can't jump from point A to point Z without the experience. It just doesn't, it won't ever last. You might get there, but when you get there, you're probably going to lose it because you don't know, you don't have the tools and the experience to actually hold that spot. So in order to be the best, you got to actually go through the process and train your mind and your body and your spirit to actually be able to sit on that throne, to say. And physically, it's going to be days you hate it. Some days I'm like, man, what am I doing? Like, what is the point? And then I get on the field, I'm like, dang, okay, coach. All right, coach. I see why I have to go through that. So just always have an edge. Get with a trainer, get with your brothers, get with your dad, whoever, your uncle, whoever has that football experience. Learn early, really be a student of the game, and just put in the work. Even when you don't want to put in the work, if you gotta wake up there early, go to bed late, whatever you gotta do, make sure your diet is on point, make sure the people around you is on point, and make sure you have support, not people that's trying to bring you down and tell you, oh, girl, you shouldn't be doing that. That's a man's sport. You shouldn't. Anybody that's hating, cut them off. And just keep your spirit up, man. Keep your spirit, keep God first. And yeah, you'll be all right.
I love that. Talk to me about your support team, because your support team is strong, right? And I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, so my mom is a lion, kind of. She's always been here, through everything since the beginning of social media for me. She was the only person that actually believed in what I was doing. Everybody else was kind of like, what is the point? What is the IG? What is Facebook? What is the point of this? And I was just like, it's gonna pop. It's gonna pop. Just wait. Nobody understood it. So she was the only person that saw it early and was like, okay, I support you. Let's make this into a business. Let's make this into a brand. And so my mom is definitely my number one supporter. I have a great assistant, the one that, you guys are probably connected to. She's amazing, Dana. She keeps me on point. My mind is like this. So she's like the one that's like, okay, hey, sit down for a second. Let's talk about this schedule. So she keeps me on point. My videographers and photographers are all dope. I got a great attorney, Mason Ash, great PR, Fago. I just got a lot of great people, and I'm blessed. It took a long time to get this team together. But the fact that we got it together and they're on point and they all about what I'm doing and I trust them with everything, it's a blessing.
Your mom was critical in the naming of your Queen of Abs brand. Because I think you wanted to go with Princess of Abs, right?
Yeah.
She was like, why be the princess when you could be the queen?
Yes.
And so, talk about your brand. I mean, if people know you, then they know the brand by now.
Yeah.
But talk to us about the brand.
So Queen of Abs Fitness is definitely a brand that was started when I was just getting out of college. It started off as me just being a trainer. I was going on tour, doing camps everywhere. And then I started getting into like the product side. So I had I had a talk show, and then I had a supplement line and a clothing line come out all in like the first and second year of me graduating. And then I started really getting heavy into like the football. Football is kind of what changed the whole thing. And that's when I kind of went viral a few times, and I had a few NFL players like show love and stuff, and that's kind of what just amplified everything. But I do speaking, I have a book, I do TV stuff, coming out with more product lines. Y'all stay tuned. And I just do a lot. That's all I can say. Like, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a tornado. I want to do everything. I want an empire. I want my kids to understand what generational wealth is. I don't want them to ever have to suffer at all, ever want for anything. And so I'm busting my ass in my 20s to do that. So
last thing, we're a sports and music show. So I gotta ask you. You told somebody in another interview I saw before, right? They were asking, hey, what's on your playlist before you go into a game? And you mentioned gospel being on your playlist, right?
Yeah.
So I want to know, like, what gospel songs are on your playlist before you head into a game? And then why gospel? Because a lot of people go with, like, I don't know, rock or something crazy to get their minds crazy. But what about gospel kind of get you in the right mode to go and dominate on the field?
So I'm obsessed with like Smokey Norfolk.
Okay.
So I have like probably every song possible by him. And the reason why I chose gospel, and I mean I didn't really choose it, just what I liked. I don't know, like when I'm like a very mellow person. So like I think because gospel kind of mellows me out, like my nerves and everything, it just kind of puts me in a place, and it kind of just fills me up with just the spirit, and then just I don't know, I just feel chill. Like I don't feel worried about nothing. I don't have anxiety or whatever. So it's like it just has always been a genre that just always kind of just calm me down. So I just always feel ready. Like when I'm listening to it before a game or whatever, and I'm gonna continue doing that.
So it's the calm before the storm.
Yes.
Exactly. Bad. I love it. All right. So what's next for the Queen of Abs, for the Barry Sanders of our generation? What's next for you?
Well, hopefully I'm gonna do some work on the field, break some records, make some more history. Maybe get to go up against Saquon one day. I'm playing. I would love to meet Barry Sanders one day. I would just like to, do something so crazy that he's like, yo, that's cool. I respect that. I just want him to acknowledge me. Just acknowledge that I'm here, you know.
It's gonna happen. He don't say a lot. You know what I mean?
I know he don't. I
never says
he
anything.
probably like, this girl crazy, because I be tagging him. I'm like, yo, can you just like it? Come on, just do something. Put a period, a check mark, something. But anyways, no, I just want to just, you know, continue just being the best at what I'm doing, and continue inspiring people, motivating people, and just continue making this opportunity for women just continue to grow. And, you know, just do God's work, whatever he has planned for me.
We are absolutely blessed to have you on. I mean, it's just phenomenal for us. And so hopefully, you know, you've had a good time.
I did.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
All right, tell the people.